What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the series where I customize and review past DLC and OG vehicles I never got the chance to because I didn't start making car customization videos till about late 2015. Again, guys, let me know in the comments what car from late 2015 and older you want to see me customize next, and I'll display the most liked vehicle suggestion comment in the next customization video. So in today's video, we're going to be customizing the Schyster Fusilade. Now this car is an OG vehicle that's been in the game since day one and can be purchased from a San Andreas website for only $36,000, or of course you can get off the street for free. And yes, this car actually does have a surprising amount of customization considering it's an OG car. Now in terms of the Schyster brand, there are only two cars that are under this brand and online, and that is the Deviant and of course the one we're customizing in this video, the Fusilade. Now obviously the Schyster brand is mainly based off Chrysler, and I would love to see more cars added that are similar to that brand, like the Chrysler 300 and the Chrysler Me 412 as well. That was a very well known in Midnight Club. I feel like there's a few different vehicles from Chrysler that would be very cool in this game. Anyways, in terms of performance, the Fusilade is in the sports car class and is a very fast car for what it is, having the same top speed as the regular Banshee, which I find very impressive, and even a higher top speed than the Elegy Retro, which is pretty surprising for an OG car that doesn't really look all that crazy in its stock form. It's pretty subtle. Now the car does lack a bit in terms of handling and braking. That's kind of where it falls about 20 positions down to around the pace of the regular Buffalo and the Segoy. Again, this is for tracks with turns and stuff. So, it's not really that great of a car for tracks, but I think it's still a good grand tour for sure. But anyways, in terms of what the Fusilade is based on, it's primarily based on the Chrysler Crossfire Coupe, which had a very unique design and was made to celebrate the union between Mercedes and Chrysler before the nasty fallout and split up, but let's not talk about that. Before that happened, they came together and made this car, and underneath there was basically the first generation Mercedes SLK with Chrysler's design of the body and everything on top, but the interior, all the internals, pretty much it was the SLK, and the cars were even built in Germany, so there you go. Mainly a Mercedes underneath, very similar in concept to how Toyota partnered with BMW to make the new Supra, which is basically a BMW Z4 underneath. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out the customization of the Schyster Fusilade.
What's she need then?
Alright, Fusilade. Alright, we got armor, brakes, bumpers, front splitter. So this one removes the front plate, adds a bumper extension with the carbon splitter at the bottom. Very nice. Something a little different. And for those of you who don't know, it's actually a very similar upgrade to the SRT version of the Crossfire, which was called the SRT6. And you can see the front bumper of that looks pretty similar to this one. I'm actually very surprised Rockstar did their research. I mean, that's very, very cool. That's a nice touch there. So I guess we'll do that. Engine, exhaust. So here you have the stock exhaust, which have a very strange shape to them. Then you have the oval kind of titanium, big bore, and then the oval version of this one, kind of. Okay, I guess we'll do the big bore. Doesn't look too bad there. Alright, so hood. So the stock hood on this car, obviously very similar to the real Crossfire. Love how they kind of carried that design trait to the GTA one with the lines on the hood. Very, very cool. Then you have the carbon version of that with the badge delete. And then you have the double vented hood, which is kind of a very performance looking, different. You do kind of lose the design trait characteristic of the stock hood with those lines, which I like a lot, but I mean, I guess this does look a bit more aggressive, so we'll do that. Lights, some xenons, plates. I already put my track plate on there. I guess we'll just give it a black background. I don't really have anything that works for this car, any good plates here, so I just threw on the track plate on there. Something's better than a generic plate. Primary colors. So for this one, I'm thinking something kind of similar to, the actual Crossfire. They have this really cool, like, bluish silver looking color. We're going to do something kind of similar to that, but not exact. I do want a bit more blue in there, so we're going to do the diamond blue And then we're going to give it an ice white pearlescent, which is going to brighten it up quite a bit. And when the sun hits it directly, you can see, I mean, it's a really good looking color. And in direct sunlight, it looks almost like pure silver, but then in different shading and stuff, it looks more blue. It's just a good looking color for this car. I think it suits it very well. Cribulum goes on the hood, you can see. Side skirts, not too bad, a little extension there. Kind of matches our front splitter. I really wish they would have added the carbon lip to it like they did with the front splitter though, so it matches a little better. I feel like that would have tied it together, but not too bad. It's still a nice option there. Rear spoiler, so this one's actually pretty cool. So you have a mid-level spoiler, which is a ducktail extension, which I love, and it still retains the third brake light, which is very cool. Just an awesome upgrade for this car. Usually you don't see, you know, nice upgrades like this for OG cars. You mainly see just, for example, the last option, which is this giant wing, and that's pretty much it. Pretty much, there you go, that's all you get. So I mean, at least they did that, and I think it looks really good for this car. Now the real Crossfire, it has like an active spoiler. You push a button and it comes up, kind of cool. Early 2000s, wasn't really all that great in function because it would come up really slow, but it was mainly for styling, which it looked really cool. On this car, they did a ducktail instead for the Fusilade, which does look really cool, but I don't know, it still kind of works. And this is kind of just, you know, accenting that and making it look a little better. Anyways, here you have the high-level spoilers. So, I mean, if you're looking to try to make it look like the SRT model, this is probably the closest you're going to be able to get. The high-level spoiler, they don't really have an exact, you know, spoiler that's like the one from the SRT model, but this is pretty close. It's not too bad. And the last option is the GT wing, which is just awful. So the high level and the mid level, definitely the best options for this car, the ducktail and this one. I don't know which one I like better, honestly. Usually I'm one to go like instantly for the ducktail, but this spoiler does look really good on here. It does suit the styling, and I think it was done very well. I don't know, tough choice. Wow, that's a tough decision. I think I'm gonna go with a ducktail, honestly. I don't know. It does look really good. Suspension, competition, transmission, turbo, wheels. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna go to the street category, and I'm gonna go with the concave racers. I think these look really good on this car. All right, wheel color. So for this one, usually I go for black on most of my builds, but I don't know. I don't feel it suits this build too much or this car. I don't want to stick with alloy either, so I guess we're going to go stone silver. Just make it a bit darker, and I think it works very well with this, so we're going to do that there. Windows, tints the back glass as well. That's, wow, yikes. That's the limo is really dark at the back. I think we'll go with a dark smoke on this one. Alright, so that's all the options there. Exit to ground. Good looking little car. I mean, especially for free. Has some decent customization. I'm very surprised. Let's rev it up here. Doesn't sound too bad. First person. Got the interior from like the regular Sultan in here. Not bad, not bad. Alright, let's floor it here. Wow, gets up and goes pretty quick. Not bad at all. Sounds pretty decent, and it is not slow by any means. As I talked about earlier, for top speed, it's very similar to the Banshee, which is regular Banshee, which is very surprising. I mean, it is in a sports class, so I guess that kind of makes sense, but at least they didn't make it slow. It's not a slow car. It's definitely, I want to say it's a quick car. Now, the reason it's not that great, you know, like the Banshee for lap time performance is because it does lack a bit in terms of handling and braking. The brakes, you know, they aren't the best. They're good, but they just lack a bit in comparison to most of the sports cars when they're fully upgraded. And then the handling is just not 100% there. That's kind of where this car kind of dies a bit, is in terms of handling and braking. The acceleration and the top speed are pretty good, but it's just the handling and braking that just aren't there. If we take a few corners here, you can see the back end is kind of tail happy. I mean, there it's getting pretty decent grip because they're going kind of slow, but at times, you know, when you force it, the back end does come out. So you gotta be a little careful when you're going into bumpy turns and stuff like that. But it is rear-wheel drive, which is nice. And of course, you can do a launch, and you can mid-drive it. So boom, mid-drive. Gets up and goes pretty good. It's not bad. Alright, let's pull over here. Open all the doors and stuff. Alright. It's a good looking car. I'm pretty impressed. Alright, vehicle doors. Let's do all. Alright. So engine model kind of reused for like the benefactor vehicles, but as I talked about earlier, how it's mainly based on the first gen SLK, it makes sense. It actually does work on this when they reuse the Mercedes kind of engine model there, so that's pretty cool. That happened to work out. Interior, you know, from the Sultan, not too bad, and the AC vent placement is kind of similar to the real car, so that's kind of cool. And then the interior stitching is linked to your primary color, so that looks pretty cool there. The hatch opens up, not bad. You know, overall, for free, because I mean, you can get this car off the street for free, not a bad car at all. I think this is definitely one you should have in your garage. I'm just pretty limited on space myself. For those of you car collectors out there that feel my pain, you're probably out of space. And, you know, most people will say, oh, just use a second character. It's not the same thing. I wish I had more space, because I would definitely keep this in my garage. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, because there are other cars I prefer, but if we can get more and more space, hopefully, fingers crossed, expanded and enhanced adds a lot more garage space. I'd definitely be adding a lot more of these OG cars to my collection, because there's definitely some hidden gems out there, and this is one of them. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Remember, let me know down below in the comments what car from late 2015 and older you want to see me customize next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.